We have a cute new toy to play with today.
Hey everyone, welcome to Keep Shooting Monday, number 75. My name is Greg Cazillo from Cazillo.com.
And I'm Kathy Azar from Catherine Azar Photography.
So it's such a beautiful day outside here. Is it spring
Gorgeous.
or is it summer?
It just turned summer. We had the summer
well
solstice.
now it's summer. So we decided, you know what, let's come out and shoot some in the garden. So coming up later on in the show, we have a nice little review of that cute
softbox
thing over there. And we're also going to do some flash tutorials for you, off-camera flash, balancing flash, and some settings and things that we like to do, and also some posing tips that Kathy's going to bring up and mention, which is always a good thing. So what are you holding there for us, Kathy?
The Epson sign to remind you to send in your flash pictures, any kind of flash, whether it's just still flash, off-camera flash, anything you want to send us that has flash, and explain to us how you used your flash.
Very good. Yep, definitely want to have them in there. Make sure they're posted up to the forum in the proper thread by July 11th at 5 p.m. Eastern. Again, posted to the forum. You have to take the photos as of last Monday. Was it last Monday? Yes, yep. It can't be like a photo from like a year ago. It has to be from right now until then, and because it's a new assignment. You wouldn't know the assignment if you were in school before you did it. So it doesn't work.
And we want you to learn. We want you to try something
exactly.
new.
You can't turn in that paper twice. The teacher's going to know. So thank you to Epson for sponsoring that.
Absolutely.
One other thing I wanted to mention along with that was this Stamen print. And I was looking at it, and I was doing this print, and I'll show you a closer up shot of this.
This was one of the winners from
this was one of the winners from the last assignment. Yep. And I printed it, I'm looking at it, and I'm saying, man, there's something wrong with it. Had a tiny little white spot on it. And it took me a minute to figure out what it was. There's actually a piece of dust on the actual piece of paper when I inserted it into the machine, into the printer. So if you see a white spot, something's there, probably your printer, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that you had a little bit of dust on the paper, and so you need to be careful of that. That obviously is not a good print. I don't want to send him a bad print like that, so I'm not going to be sending that one. I've reprinted it, and I would
send him both. If he can do it that what he wants.
I guess he could crop it out or cut it out if he really wanted to.
Or take a yellow magic marker and go beep. But I had to laugh when you said that happened, because just yesterday when I printed the model's portfolio print that she wanted, I looked at the side and went, what is? It was a dog hair. So same issue, like you've got to be careful where you store your paper, make sure it's clean.
Interesting. So that's a couple of little things that we wanted to mention. Again, it's all about that experience and sharing what we're seeing and what we're doing and the screw-ups that we're having.
And we supposedly know what we're doing.
Speaking of a screw-up, we already recorded part of the show later on, and you're going to see one of my screw-ups.
Rare, but it happens.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about that. Anyway, a couple things that happened this week, well, at least the big one, was Adobe's new Photoshop CC event, and it was released. They talked a lot about video, they talked a lot about sketching and drawing and that kind of thing, and they also released a few new iPad and iPhone apps, one of which is Lightroom for the iPhone. It'll now sync your photos from your iPhone back over to your Lightroom catalog, which is pretty cool. If you didn't already have that set up through iCloud, you can now do it directly through the iPhone app. The one thing that I had actually tweeted to Adobe, but they did not reply to me, so I'm going to try and get the answer on this, is whether it's sending the high-res image. Is it sending the original image, the highest resolution, uncompressed from the phone, or is it only sending a smaller image back over to your Lightroom catalog? So I need to find out, and I'm working on that, but like I said, Adobe did not tweet back. So one other feature that was in there was ranking in both versions. Actually, you're now able to star and rank images, not just use the flag and reject. So that's a good thing. Photoshop is now syncing workspaces, which is a feature that I wanted. I think I had tweeted about it at one point. So it's always good to be able to sync those workspaces in between different computers if you have that. I would think that would have been set in there in the first place, but it's there now, so it doesn't matter.
They've also fixed some bugs that they had found that were going on, and also added some new profiles.
Yes,
Camera
they're
profiles.
in there. Yep. Like I said, they did have some new iPad apps. One of them is Photoshop Mix. It allows you to pull in layers and files and photos and all kinds of stuff from different images that are in your Creative Cloud account, and mix them, put them together, basically comp them. It actually uploads a lot of those images back to Adobe servers, does a lot of the heavy lifting, sends them back down to your iPad or back over to your original, to the Photoshop or to your computer. So you know that it's going to be a super high quality, which is always a good thing. One thing that I didn't like was that when I was installing the new Photoshop CC 2014 or Premiere, and actually I had on my workstation, I had like 6 or 7 applications installed that all were updated, that had new versions that were 2014s. It actually installs the new version separately. It does not update.
So you end up with 2 versions on your computer.
Exactly, and that.
Now, is that just a PC thing, or is that a Mac thing too? I haven't updated mine yet. Did it on the Mac?
It did it on the Mac too. So yes, it's definitely both.
It's easier to uninstall on the Mac.
No, it's not, because you have to find the uninstaller.
Usually just drag them to the trash, don't you?
No, with Photoshop programs, you need to uninstall.
Yeah. Okay.
You got to go through the uninstaller.
Haven't had to do that yet.
Yeah, with the Adobe ones anyway, you really should uninstall, because it leaves a lot of stuff everywhere.
Good to know.
Files everywhere. But yeah, that was definitely an issue that it just made a lot of work. You know, if you have all 15 CC apps installed, that's a lot of time to uninstall.
No, why would they do that? What would be the
they're new
rationale?
They're basically new programs.
Okay, so it's not necessarily an update.
Exactly. It's an update to the CC program, but it's more or less a whole new version. But I think it should be programmed into the little Creative Cloud app to say uninstall and reinstall, or install over, or something along those lines, to make it clear, hey, you're installing a whole nother program, and it's going to take up another 2 gigs of space on your drive.
Next time, Adobe.
Yeah, hopefully they can work that out for the 15 version and give us an update. You know, let us know that that's the case, or even let people know, give them some kind of a pop-up or a notification, something, because then you have, like, in your list of apps, you had like 10 apps installed, and so it was definitely a lot more work than just clicking update. You had to go back and uninstall all those 5 of the other ones. So coming up later on, like I said, we're going to do that softbox review. Kathy gives us a little review on that guy. And what else? Oh, we're going to do posing and some little off-camera flash tutorials.
Yep. Adorama graciously sent over Glow by Flashpoint, which is their brand name. It's a hexapop, they're calling it, 24 inches. This is the first time I'm putting it together. Greg wanted me to show you how easy it is to put together by doing it for the first time on camera. So I'm pulling out the bracket and this cute little thing. All right, so figuring it out. Looks like we're gonna slide it in like this, Greg?
Looks right, yep,
all right,
that's the way.
We're sliding this in like this. Maybe you have to
yep, you gotta have them nice and loose.
There you go, slide it up, lock them in.
And actually, I think you're backwards.
Am I backwards?
Yes.
I'm backwards?
Yes.
How am I backwards?
Because you gotta mount your flash on that side.
All right, that would make sense. So if you're paying attention, it's super easy. If you're not paying attention, that would be a problem.
There you go.
Excellent.
And it'll clue you in because you have your shoe mount right there, your cold shoe right there.
Or it should have.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Now something that I noticed and that I've done with these strobes is I prefer, at least with my Nikon strobes, to turn this little mount to the side so that I can have the sensor pointing towards the camera. So when I mount this, prefer to turn it 90 degrees. And actually, I think we're going, which way are we going? Prefer to go like that and then mount it. And then turn that head down, and you just need to loosen that up a little bit.
Slide it up a little bit.
Slide
so
that up.
The flash will fit.
And that way you have a better chance of, especially when you're outdoors, of this strobe picking up the other strobe signal especially if you're talking about like a D7000 or a 610 where you're only using the on-camera little strobe. That can make a big difference, especially outdoors or a large room. If you're talking about a small room, it's really not going to be an issue.
Yeah, because I haven't had ever a problem with that unless I'm standing in front of my strobe. That's the only time I've ever had a problem. And it looks like there are little hooks on the side here, so it looks like I'm just going to pop these in like that. That is very cool. How cute is this? I know that's not something, a word you've probably ever used in a review, right? Cute?
No, I don't think so.
All right, so this last one's a little tight. There we go. So. That is adorable. You cannot say that is not adorable.
And you said you like that it's already put together? I
like that it already came put together because I remember when I got my first softbox and then I got the white ring that you're supposed to use with it and all the attachments and the stand, I went, what on earth am I, because it doesn't come with directions.
Yeah.
So I had to Google how on earth do I put this thing together. So the fact that this is all one piece already and all you have to do is flip those things out and just pay attention to which way your bracket is mounted. Duh. I think it's great. And then it looks like it says auto close button. So I'm going to try that.
Both of them at the same time.
You have to do both at the same.
Yep. Put it on the stand.
Okay.
That way you won't drop it. Now it's in front of your face and we can't see you.
Exactly.
There you are.
Indeed. So then we're going to practice closing it. They're just the two buttons that we slide together. I'm scared. Oh!
I told you it scares small children.
Yeah, so beware of that.
So we're outside in the garden and I wanted to do a really nice headshot of Kathy, but it is a very bright sunny day in case you can't tell. We have probably not a cloud in the sky. In fact, the only thing that I can see up there is a contrail and that's it. So it's a very bright day. I don't like, or I didn't like how bright that sun was. I wanted to tone it down a little bit. So what you would do in that case is you would underexpose. You would bring your shutter speed up a little bit and underexpose the shot. Unfortunately, that also does the same thing with Kathy. It makes her underexposed. Here's where our off-camera flash comes in. Now, of course, you could do this with just your on-camera flash, but then it just flattens the image and it doesn't look good. Doesn't have the perspective. It doesn't have the depth. And that's what you want. You want to really show that these images are three-dimensional, and so that's why we use these off-camera flash.
And by over bright, you were talking about the background. The greens in the background were just kind of blown out. The yellows were just too bright.
Yeah, exactly. So I've already shot one photo, and it's underexposed a little bit, probably about a half a stop, 3/4 of a stop, and that's enough. It's just what I need. It's a little bit of underexposure. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's a stop under. Now I'm going to add my flash for this second shot. And here's the setup with the equipment. I have an SB900 here. Is that a 900 or a 910?
It's 900.
Not that it really matters, but the two SB900s, this one's on master, that one's on slave. I have this one on channel 1 and group A, that one on the same settings. And I also have this on manual. Why do I have it on manual? Because I'm not moving, the subject isn't moving, the strobe isn't moving. We want a nice, consistent output every single time so that it makes it easier for us to work. That's why I prefer to shoot in manual in this situation.
And you're talking about manual on your flash as well as your camera.
Yes.
But manual on your flash versus TTL or one of the other settings.
Yes, the TTL, while it's easy to use, sometimes it's not consistent. Sometimes it's up a little bit, sometimes it's down. If you're moving, the subject moves.
Clouds come in.
Yeah, the clouds or even clothing. Different angles of your clothing can make a difference when you're working, with the strobe output. And I doubt that you're even going to get an accurate output when you're using a softbox like this. So that's where you want to stay on that manual mode, and it'll be a lot less confusing. You want more power, you turn it up. You want less power, you turn it down. So I'm going to shoot a second photo here of Kathy. I'm just going to compose a nice shot and make sure her hands are there. And we get her to smile a little bit more. There you go, better smile. Now I'm actually at a half power on that strobe. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. But of course I hit the wrong button.
Whoops.
Hit the wrong button on there. So I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. I put it on the wrong channel. And now I need to get back to the right channel.
That's what's important about knowing your gear, so that if you accidentally do something like that, because it's really easy to do, that you know how to get back and know what you're doing.
Yep, and you know what's funny? I grabbed this flash, and I'm still playing with it to try and get it on the right one. I grabbed this flash, thinking, it's right there, but I'm so used to using my other strobe, my SB800 as the master, and it's not an easy way. There's no kind of easy way. I think I'm just gonna have to cut this out because I don't know what to do, because I can't figure, there it is.
Do you need help, Greg?
No, I found it. I found it. Oh, you know what it is? I wasn't looking at the soft buttons at the bottom, and one of those buttons says CH, meaning channel. So that's a lesson right there. Know your equipment, and usually, like I said, I use my 800 as my master, so, and then I would have never touched that. I would have never messed it up. So, shame on me. So let's do another one, and now I've turned my power down. 1, 2. Relax, bring your fingers together a little bit. There you go, that's better. 1, 2, 3. I am really big on fingers and hands and posing. I think it's really important, especially when her hands are right underneath her face like that. And you know what? Bring your necklace back to the center, your heart back to the center. Do one more there just in case. That's better. A little more smile. There you go. Good. Perfect. Except it has a little bit too much shadow on the right side of her face. That's where I'm going to turn on the other strobe. Now, a little background information. This one is considered to be my main light, okay? Then we also have the sun, which I guess in this case would be more considered a fill light, since it's in the shadow, and it's also our background light, okay? Now I'm going to turn on a fill light, and a fill light is typically straight on from the camera angle, and that's what I want to do. So let's turn it on, and I'm going to choose, you know, we might have to show a little clip of me fumbling and playing with,
what
with
not
this
to do.
thing. Yeah, right. So we're going to, nope. I really should not have grabbed this strobe. There it is. We're going to go on manual, and I'm going to go 2 stops under. So I'm at 1/4 of a second on that one. So I'm going to go to 16 on this strobe. And I just want a little bit. There you go. 1, 2. Tilt your head this way. Let me see that. A little bit more. Lean towards me just a little bit. Chin up a little bit. Good. 1, 2. It's not relaxed.
It's so much harder being on this side of the camera.
Just fall into it. There you go. That's better. Good. See, sometimes you just need to let them kind of fall in, and that's what I had her 2 pose, and I could tell that in the camera, but I still shot the photo because I don't want to say to her, stop doing that because you look uncomfortable. I want to make her seem like, oh yeah, that was really good, but let's try this again.
And when you said relax, I do what I do with my clients all the time. I was like, so just go.
Yeah. Okay. So let me take another look and see if there's enough shadow there, or that cut down on the shadow enough.
And one of the things I do with my clients all the time is what we call the turtle, where we pretend that for women, when you pose them, the very first thing a lot of people do is pull back, and then you get all this lovely stuff. So instead of pulling back, I teach them to pull their head forward and down a little bit, which is a very common technique. So it stretches this stuff out, and because you're taking a 3D image and compressing it to 2D, you don't look like this, and it's not over exaggerated.
Very good. I'm going to do one more just in case at about a stop under on that strobe. Good. One more time. Bring your fingers together a little bit. There you go. That's better. 1, 2, 3. Chin up just a hair. There you go. Good. Strobe going off every time?
Seems to.
Good. Okay. So that I like that a lot better. There's still some shadow on the image, but it's not overbearing. It's not too much. So I think that works out. And again, the Adorama Flashpoint Glow Series softbox, I do like it. I love the light pattern. I like the shape of it. I think it is cute. As Kathy says, it is cute. Nice and easy to use.
It's easily portable. I like that. I like the fact that the thingies snap in rather than having to pull them out, because mine on my other softbox have gotten bent because
Okay.
Taking them in and out is tough.
Do you have a small one, or do you only have a 3 or 4
I have
foot?
One like about this size.
Okay. Okay. All right, very good. We're going to do one more segment around the corner there, and we'll see what we get on there.
Okay, so first, when I came over this morning, I had no idea that this is what we were going to be doing, so I wasn't necessarily dressed appropriately, and my curling iron cut out on me this morning, so it makes me so terribly happy. Things I won't do for Greg.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
And you guys should be thanking Kathy too, because it's all for you guys. It's not necessarily for me, it's for you guys, because you guys get to learn.
Absolutely, frizzy hair and all. But so we wanted to talk a little bit about posing and some of the things that we do with our clients to help them along, because even as I stand here right now, I'm going, oh my word, as a photographer, standing on this side of the camera is much different than standing on the other. I'd much rather be on the other side of the camera, but again, taking one for the team. So when you go to start a client out, they're often very nervous, so talking to them and relaxing them and getting them to pose in a natural way is very helpful for them. So when you start them out, usually they stand there kind of like this and go, what do I do? And the first thing they do, as I mentioned, I'm not sure when we're putting sections together, but a lot of people stick their neck back like this and get all nervous and shoulders up. So you want to get them to relax their shoulders a little bit, relax their neck. And one of the techniques I learned along the way, and I'm not sure where I picked up the name, I'm sure it's another photographer, calls it the turtle, where you stick your head out a little bit and down. So it's not going to look weird because you're not going sideways, but you're taking a 3D image and making it 2D, so you're stretching out all this a little bit, which ladies like. Second thing is you're going to turn a little bit sideways, because straight on is no fun. You want to narrow the profile a little bit. Greg and I have different ways. I like to put weight back on the back foot. Greg prefers on the leaning forward a little bit. So either way, you can get a good image.
And try both. It's not wrong to try both. Some people may look better one versus the other.
Right.
I personally like the leaning forward thing because I think you're a little bit more open. You kind of have that more open kind of a feeling. But again, try both, see which one you like better.
For different people, it's going to be different. Yeah. And you want to give the impression of a shape through here, especially for ladies. So pull the arms out away, whether you have a light hand on the hip here, just depends which way you want them to turn. Trying to get the face towards the camera rather than this way, face towards the camera. You can drop the chin a little bit towards the shoulder, just depends upon what kind of a look you're going for.
One more time. Good.
And again, then having them tilt the chin different ways depending upon the look you're going for, what looks best for them, and whatnot.
One other thing that can thin the body a lot is the lighting. Lighting is huge as far as thinning, slimming, making everyone look better. And so putting the opposite side, the flash on the opposite side is going to make a big difference. So putting that flash on this side facing in, where if, turning the other way, Kathy, if it's this way, that means you're lighting the broad side of the body, the broad side of the face, and it's going to make it look wider. You spin the other way, now you're lighting the short side of the body, the short side of the face, and it's obviously going to look a lot better. And now we have a cloud that's come in, so that makes a difference, and that changes up your lighting and your scene, and especially when you're working outdoors. It's easier when you're indoors, but...
There are things to pay attention to, and the more you shoot, the more you'll notice that cloud cover come across, and you'll know to change your settings up a little bit.
Yep, very good. How about that wall?
Yeah, the other thing that we talked about is whenever you go to shoot, people have a tendency to back up right against the wall. That could be good if you're using it for a certain certain posing.
Sometimes. Now, if I'm going to do this for Kathy, I don't know how to put this nicely.
Just go for it.
Kathy. Sorry, Kathy. This straight-on shot sometimes might not be very pleasing and flattering. Yes.
You can say it.
So you still want to have her bring her arms out, again, showing that shape, showing that little bit of space. Okay, bring the other hand up just a little bit. That's better. And the other thing that I'm doing is shooting a little bit wider. Okay? It might, because it makes it seem like she's a smaller part of the image. Okay, and then we go in for a little bit tighter shot. And so I'm cutting, I don't want to cut off fingers. And so now I have the tight shot. So I have a tighter one and I have a wider one. And so your composition of the image affects the image just as much as the lighting, as the posing in a portrait setting.
I like turning people sideways against a wall too, as I'm knocking over plants.
That's okay.
There are lots of things that you can do with posing.
Yep, very good. Let's do one more turn to the side there, and just to show that after we fix the plant. Turn the other way. Let me see. That's better. There you go. Good. Chin this way a little bit. Up a little bit. Good. There you go. 1, 2. Caught your hair off a little bit. Bring that necklace back into the center. It seems
That's another thing.
To fall.
Necklaces with women with the clasps is always something to watch out for, because it can be a pain to edit out.
Necklaces, hands, clothing where it's falling.
Earrings,
microphones
hair,
if it's in the shot like it is right now. I'm always big on hands, where they're putting the hands, how the hand looks, and wrists, especially with females. I don't like a wrist that is turned too much.
Am I turning too much?
It needs to have a nice feminine bend to it or angle to it in order to make it look normal and feminine, and because women hate it when their hands don't look good. And that's part of your job as a photographer, to make sure that they do
Notice
look
the
good.
details.
Yeah, to see those details and to make it look good. So let's talk real quick about the setup. Once again, I have the camera set with, we're on a 1/4 power here, and my shadows are a little heavy. This segment was more about posing than it was the actual setup, but I'll list the exposure of all the images that we did. Just the one flash off camera there, and then this one is not affecting the scene at all, just using it as a master. You may see it going off, but it's only to set that one off, and that's it. That's the only light besides the available light from the sun and the clouds and all that.
Now, do you want to explain why you have it here versus down low?
I like a little bit higher light, and it's, once again, more of the lower part of her body. The more it's in shadow, the less your eyes are going to concentrate on it. So that's a good thing. Again, lighting angle, it's just higher angle. You want to light the face more. Keep the viewer's eyes on the face. It's going to be better. Okay? So I think that's it for today. Comments, questions, we'd love to hear them. If you have any other ideas, things that you'd prefer to do.
If you're having trouble with your flash, or having trouble with your image that you want to send to us, ask the question. We'd love to have some questions about flash.
Maybe we can do a setup. Maybe if it was something that you didn't do quite right, we'll try and
recreate it here.
Recreate it and fix it and try it, and maybe show you a different way.
After I brush my hair.
And get a new curling iron. I think it looks great.
Smart man.
Right answer. Thanks, guys. Keep shooting. See ya.